scratch. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's Katie Joy from Without a Crystal Ball. We are going to talk today about a lawsuit related to Josh Duggar in Arkansas in Benton County, and he has actually been ordered in contempt of court for not showing up yesterday in relation to a fraudulent real estate deal that he became a part of in 2016. Now, the lawsuit has a lot of details in it, but yesterday in court, he had been ordered on December 9th to appear in this lawsuit by a judge, and he didn't show up. So he had been ordered on December 9th, you must show up, because his company, ALB Investments, is being sued by a property owner named Carl Eccles. So he doesn't show up, and the court says, you gotta come. And not only do you have to come, you have to answer 30 questions for discovery for this lawsuit. Otherwise, you're going to be in contempt and we're going to arrest you. So he has until 4 o'clock today to answer the questions along with showing up in court. Now, let's talk, what is this lawsuit going on? Well, some outlets have been covering it. And I thought, why don't we just take a look at it so you can see the craziness that is going on in Arkansas? So here is the lawsuit. It actually was filed in April of 2019. A few outlets have been covering this lawsuit, not just locally. I think Radar Online has been covering this pretty much, but it says that it's Carl Eccles versus ALB Investments and Edward Lewis. Now, Edward Lewis is the man that actually sold the property to Josh Duggar in 2016. ALB Investments is owned and by Josh Duggar. There are some other people on the company, but Josh is listed as the CEO. So he's the primary person. And so according to the lawsuit, which was filed in the Circuit Court of Benton County, it says that the petitioner purchased a 5-acre tract of land from his cousin, Edward Lewis, in 2006. He paid his cousin $17,500 cash and was given a signed dated bill of sale with a property description. The petitioner asked his cousin if he needed to do anything else, and he told him no, that he just needed to have the receipt, and make sure that you pay the property taxes. So I don't know if he's naive, but you definitely should be filing your your title. So you need to file a title, guys. There's lots of stuff going on in Arkansas, I've learned, about people not doing their due diligence. So if you buy property, make sure you file a title and deed. Anyway, the petitioner proceeded to put a mobile home on the property, and he did not record a deed, but has lived on the property since 2006 while also paying taxes. He says that the property tax statements always came to the petitioner's residence addressed to his cousin. That should have been a 1Q that you didn't own the property, buddy. Not saying that you're in the wrong here, because it appears as though your cousin did you dirty. But he said that the words "in care of" preceding the petitioner's name. Recently, when he tried to pay the property taxes, he was told that ALB Investments owned the property. After doing research, he found out that his cousin, Mr. Lewis, paid back taxes in 2008 and 2010. At that time, when he paid the back taxes, he actually put the title of the property in his name, and then under the shadiness, he doesn't tell his cousin, so Lewis is accused of not telling Eccles that he then sold the property to Josh Duggar for $1,000. So in 2016. Now, they say that there's proof that they actually own the land, because in 2012, they actually took power of attorney to the land commissioner's office. The power of attorney then filed that in there along with the bill of sale from 2006 for $17,500. But when they allege that when Josh bought it, they used a title company that only looked for current owner searches. They did not actually do a full property search or they didn't pull the full title of the property. And because of that, they missed that the property was owned by someone else. They didn't do a full title search, is what I'm saying. They just did an owner search, which is crazy. Anyways, they drafted a warranty deed to Josh at that time, and then Josh never visited the property. Why would you buy property and never visit it? Whatever. But then it gets a little bit crazier, because when Eccles continues to do some digging, he finds out that Lewis actually didn't even own the property in 2006 when he bought it from him and that he turned around and sold it on the 6th, but then 3 days later actually bought it from Bradford Family Trust, and then he filed the title in his name on January 30th. So he sold property that he did not own, then filed the title in his name. That's shady, Mr. Lewis. So there's lots of things that they're suing them for. They've got all kinds of exhibits. One thing that they do have here is they have all the paid receipts for all of the property taxes that he claimed he pays. They have, going down. They have all the paid receipts. There's the actual purchase. Look at that. That's the purchase of the property. I, Edward Lewis, sign date, sell this to you for blah, blah, blah. And then it's witnessed. Here's the Benton County, Arkansas property card. And then here's the actual title search where they're claiming that he shows up on it. And you can see under encumbrances at the very bottom, a durable power of attorney dated from January 5th, 2012, appointing Carl Eugene Eccles, power of attorney over Jerry Lynn Weston, filed on 1/2012, dated in 2012, basically states that Lewis deeded the property to Carl Eccles for $17,000 paid in full. So that would be that as of 2012, the full title search would show that it was actually owned by Mr. Eccles. But instead, Mr. Eccles somehow bought the property and then sold it to Josh Duggar. Crazy. So this has been an ongoing case. Now, I should note that Mr. Lewis has not actually even responded to this lawsuit. He has actually been held, they've actually awarded a judgment against him for this shady business deal. But Josh has actually not, he didn't drop it. And so in court yesterday, he has had apparently 3 months to answer the discovery questions of the court and of the respondent or the petitioner, Mr. Eccles. But what they want him to ask, so basically, excuse me, the attorney representing Mr. Eccles told Fox News yesterday, so far in the discovery process, we asked for the names of all the members of ALB Investments. The attorney would not answer that question. He said Josh Duggar is the only member of ALB Investment who knew about this issue. And then they said the goal of all of this is to get answers from ALB Investments. And that they are hoping that they said that the client has been waiting for over 3 months for him to answer questions. And he says that the judge has given him a deadline of tomorrow afternoon. And if he isn't, he will be arrested. Okay. So what is it that they want him to answer? Well, KNWA was able to grab some of the brief in support. And this is what they haven't answered. So this is just an example. It says, defendant has failed to respond to most of the second set of questions and has not cited a legitimate reason. For example, question 15 asks Josh how he knows separate defendant Edward Lewis. The answer is that ALB Investment has no knowledge of this. That's not an answer, apparently. Question 16 asks how long Josh Duggar has known Edward Lewis and the nature of their relationship. An answer is the same. For the 17th question, it asks Josh Duggar, the member of ALB Investments who signed the deed to the property in the name of ALB, found on the property of the sale. And the answer is that ALB Investment has no knowledge and information requested by this. Contrast that with the 20th question, which asks if Josh Duggar was involved with ALB's acquisition of certain properties. The answer is yes. He was involved with the property which is the subject of the lawsuit and another property. So he's like, I don't know who it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know who the ALB has no knowledge. And then does ALB know about whether or not they bought this property? We do. What? This is a mess. This is so Duggars. I swear, every time I do a Duggar lawsuit, it's like they always omit or leave out information. Oops. Johnny needed to go outside. So then this 21st question, it says, it asks which members of ALB know Edward Lewis, and the answer given is that Josh Duggar knows Mr. Lewis, but only in his individual capacity, and therefore ALB has no knowledge of the information this question seeks. It says the defendant's evasiveness in the discovery process is an abuse of the corporate form. Josh Duggar is the only member of ALB Investments. Josh Duggar bought the property at issue in the name of ALB Investments, not in his individual name. Josh Duggar had a relationship with separate defendant Edward Lewis, who sold him the property, which is the subject of the lawsuit. Regardless of how he came to know him, once Josh Duggar bought the property in the name of ALB Investments, the details of his relationship with Edward Lewis became relevant to the lawsuit and thus discoverable. So he buys the property and then is like the only person at ALB, and then ALB is like, I don't know how they know Mr. Lewis. But then Josh Duggar is like the only person at ALB. Okay. Do they really think we're this dumb? This is the kind of stuff that flabbergasts me. Absolutely flabbergasts me. This is such gaslighting, you guys. Craziness. Oh, Finn, thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you, Finn, for sending me the information. Thank you for everything you do. You're welcome, Jesse, and thanks for the info. The guy has major issues. You are welcome. And Nocturnal Nassan says nothing and does a $5 super chat. You guys are amazing. So awesome. If you guys... This is no different than Austin being sued for the property that he sold to his friend a couple years ago, and then in the lawsuit they say that Austin is a house flipper, and then Austin Okay. So Austin told the court that he was not a house flipper, even though on the show he has actually been said to be a house flipper. And Jim Bob asked him to flip so many houses before he could actually marry his daughter. So this family seems to have some issues with the truth. I am going to see how this all plays out. We'll see if Josh answers. I'm sure he should answer now that he has the barrel of the law breathing down his neck, and that he could be arrested if he does not show up. So I will be back later with more, but let me know your thoughts. Do you think this is Josh being shady? Do you think anyone actually checks titles or and hires inspectors before they buy property in Arkansas? Do we need to have a sit down with that entire area of Arkansas and talk to them about, due diligence in property purchases? All right. So that's where we're at with this. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything that you want, make sure you comment below. I am on Instagram at Without a Crystal Ball. I am on Facebook at facebook.com/withoutacrystalball. And I'm on Twitter at WOACB Official. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you haven't yet already. And also subscribe to my channel if you haven't. If you'd like to become a member, make sure you hit that join button and you can get member perks. All right, you guys, I'll be back later with more. Bye.